Ari's reporting that the Jags are taking, with the number 2 overall pick, Colorado wide receiver / cornerback Travis Hunter. That will be the selection for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Okay, so let's just start thinking about this for a second. We've got Brian Thomas Jr., who I think can be a legitimate number 1 X wide receiver who can also move all over the formation, right? Z in the slot, move him anywhere, like true legitimate number 1 superstar, like Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, that whole world of player, Devontae Adams. You've now got Travis Hunter, who could be both wide receiver and cornerback for them. Like they have a kind of corner need as well. You can moonlight Travis Hunter as like a situational wide receiver because you've got Gabe Davis, you've got De'Ami Brown, like you've got some bodies in there as well. You've got the ability to spell Travis Hunter, and he could be a corner that could start for this team.
Unbelievable, man. Look, I there's so much to talk about. I don't want to downplay the Travis Hunter story. I mean, last year when the draft happened, the day after, I was joking like, hey, let's talk Travis Hunter in the draft. What is he, a wide receiver or a corner? But I really, it's one of the biggest draft stories of the last 20 years, 30 years. Travis Hunter, the two-way player at Colorado, but now it's tied to a team like the Jags trading up to get him. And as you mentioned, now he can come in, play corner, maybe, opposite Tyson Campbell. He's competing with Monteric Brown, who played okay last year. So they have a need at corner. And then as you mentioned, the way they've built their receiving core, Gabe Davis, De'Ami Brown, kind of some deep threats, Brian Thomas Jr. looking like a star, and Travis Hunter looking like a star. I mean, if Hunter just plays receiver for them and he's just a pass catcher for Trevor Lawrence, you're getting your money's worth. It's what a move by the Jags. I don't want to downplay the Hunter story though and how special he is as a prospect, because we haven't seen much like this in recent times here.
But we're back to this world of we don't know what the Jags think of Travis Hunter because they haven't really been in the linked with him conversation, right? We know that the Browns viewed him as a wide receiver first and a cornerback second. Jacksonville might view him as a wide receiver only. They might view him as a cornerback only. They might view him as both. You know, we don't know what way they see him. The chat, multiple ways, by the way, are asking, you know, weren't we really low on Brian Thomas Jr. last year? Yes, that's one of the biggest draft goofs certainly I've had in years. I did not like Brian Thomas Jr. that much at all last year. He was, however, spectacular as a rookie. And with that new information, I could not be more excited as to his prospects going forward. I thought he looked like the best wide receiver of that rookie class last season.
I think I'm normally one last thing on Hunter and the idea that we haven't seen a whole lot like this in recent years. I also I think he's special in how he has played two ways and done it effective. I really think the same way, say Michael Vick or Lamar Jackson, all of a sudden you had more athletic quarterbacks, you know, trying to play quarterback, maybe not playing receiver like they would have. I think you're going to have more people try to play two ways like Travis Hunter. I'm not saying they'll do it as effectively. I'm not saying they'll do it for 100% of the snaps. I think he's that groundbreaking and he did it more than Chris Gamble, Charles Woodson, Champ Bailey, the people that did it in the past. I think he's groundbreaking in the sense that other prospects are going to try it. And that's another notable thing I think about Travis Hunter and just how good he's been.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to pour cold water on the Travis Hunter two-way thing, but I would tap the brakes a little bit and say, look, what he did was spectacular. And I think he rightly won the Heisman Trophy as being the best player in the nation because no one else is doing what he did, right? Ashton Genty had like a season for the ages, and yet he was basically just, quote unquote, playing running back. Travis Hunter was playing at a top 5, top 10, however you want to say it, you know, wherever you want to draw the line. He was one of the best players in the country at two separate positions at the same time. That is utterly insane and utterly ridiculous, making him the best player in the nation. There was, however, plays where you could see the fatigue, right? And you could see the problems that was causing, and that's at Colorado. That's a bigger problem in the NFL. It will be a bigger problem in the NFL. Now, can he overcome it and do both still? Maybe, sure. Like, I'm willing to give him the shot because he shouldn't have been able to do what he was doing in the first place. But I don't know how big a thing this is going to be versus, you know, maybe he ends up becoming, and this is like, this still works, right? Because I think he's wide receiver 1 anyway. Like, I think he's a top 5 draft pick if you just said he's a wide receiver. I think he's probably a top 5 draft pick if you just said he's a cornerback. But maybe he ends up becoming more of basically just the best receiver / corner in the draft, and then has a package of plays like we're sort of more familiar with, from other players that have dabbled on the other side of the ball.
Just to reset a little bit here, we didn't get to talk about Cam Ward a ton with the Titans, but this is the AFC South dominating the top of the draft here, Sam.
That's a good point, though. Steve D in Italy has said he's now at sea level. That's probably significant, actually. Like, it sounds kind of silly, but like, I haven't actually run that check, but I wonder how many of those fatigue plays were at home.
They were at home against Stanford. I mean, that's what made it ridiculous. Not to relate to myself, but I'm just saying, like, I grounded to short one time at Colorado Springs and ran to first and almost fell over. Like, I was out of breath for the next inning. I was in good shape at the time. I'm just saying, I was out of breath pitching the next inning because I ran to first. And the guy was playing 140 plays in Colorado. That's crazy talk that he did it in Colorado. And look, I think Liam Cohen and James Gladstone, if they're crazy enough to trade up for him, they're crazy enough to let him play 140 snaps and see if he can do it.
Yeah, maybe. And I would absolutely give him a shot to do it, because if he can, it's absurd. Like, the value add to that is nuts. I'm just saying it's a bigger problem in the NFL than it was in college, because the standard is better, because, the level of knowledge you need to do it is higher. Now, offsetting that, you've got, as the guy said, he's no longer at altitude for most of the time. The other thing that offsets it is he's no longer a full-time student, right? He's a full-time professional football player. So you do have more time to learn the other side of the ball, to get in that playbook, to be in meetings, et cetera, et cetera. You're not in class, right? However much that was happening, it was happening to some degree. So yeah, there's definitely, there's pluses and minuses to it, but he is just, we did this video. I don't know if everyone has watched this video, but we got 28 different draft analysts, friends of the show, whatever, to list their favorite prospect in the draft. Any player, any round, for any reason. And at one point, I thought half the video was going to be people saying Travis Hunter. Like, he is a lot of people's favorite prospect. And, a guy like Danny Heifetz from The Ringer did a really good job of explaining, like, we shouldn't normalize just how freaky what he's doing is, right? Like Shohei Ohtani, it is historic. It is like more than generational. Generational has become like every few years. It is like first time in 50 years or whatever that we're seeing this. Thanks for watching all the way to the end of our video.
For more great content, click here to subscribe and here to watch another video. We'll see you again soon.